guys know now who won.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Okay.
And the winner is Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has been shaking up the basketball world like no one else. The Indiana Fever's young superstar went from college legend to pro icon in the blink of an eye. Her insane talent, fiery passion, and fearless leadership turned her into a national sensation overnight. After torching records at Iowa, she hit the WNBA and instantly became the face of the Fever. Her rookie year, pure electricity. By year 2, she wasn't just keeping up, she was dominating. July 2025 proved it when Caitlin walked away with one of the sport's biggest honors, WNBA Player of the Year at the ESPYs. That's right, she beat out heavyweights like Breanna Stewart, Aja Wilson, and Nafisa Collier, names that had ruled the league for years. What a statement. Fans were hyped, teammates were proud, and everyone thought this is only the start of a legendary run. But just as things were peaking, disaster hit out of nowhere. In a heated battle with the Connecticut Sun, Clark suddenly looked off, grimacing in pain. Late in the game, she re-aggravated a nagging groin injury she'd been secretly fighting through for weeks. Cameras caught her limping, clutching her side, and the entire arena went silent. Fans held their breath. Was the Fever's golden star about to fall? Coach Stephanie White tried to calm everyone down, promising Clark would be carefully evaluated. But hope quickly turned to heartbreak. Days after being celebrated as WNBA Player of the Year, Caitlin dropped bombshell news on July 17th. She was out for the entire 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend. That meant no All-Star Game, no three-point contest, and worst of all, both events were set to happen right in her home arena in Indianapolis. Fans were crushed. This was supposed to be Caitlin's moment to own the spotlight in front of her city. Clark went online and poured her heart out, saying how sad and disappointed she was, but admitted her health had to come first. She even posted a heartfelt message with broken heart emojis, letting fans know just how much it hurt to step back.
Sure will be a big first step for me, but it's just one step for the WNBA. Thanks to all the great players like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, the great Dawn Staley, and my basketball.
Still, in true leader fashion, she promised to show up and cheer on her teammates from the sidelines. The move showed big-time maturity, choosing long-term health over short-term glory. But the WNBA still had a hole to fill for the three-point contest, and they didn't have to search far. Lexi Hull, Caitlin's own Fever teammate, got the call-up. She'd been on fire all season, especially from deep. This was her moment to step up and shine. Lexi Hull had been a silent assassin all season. Her three-point percentage was among the league's best, making her the perfect choice to fill Caitlin's spot in the contest. She might not grab headlines like Clark, but real hoop fans and coaches had taken notice. This woman could shoot the lights out. Her focus, discipline, and deadly accuracy had quietly made her one of the Fever's most reliable weapons. Now, stepping in for Clark in such a massive spotlight wasn't just an honor. It was a huge responsibility. The whole league, plus thousands of new eyes, would be watching, especially with the event taking place in her city, Indianapolis. And Hull was ready for it. This was her chance to not only rep the Fever, but also honor her injured teammate while showing the world exactly what she could do under pressure. But behind the excitement, there was heartbreak. Just days before being named Clark's replacement, Lexi suffered a devastating loss. Her beloved dog, Maggie, who had been by her side for 14 years, passed away. Hull posted black and white photos of their moments together and wrote a touching tribute online calling Maggie the sweetest Mags and admitting home would never feel the same without her. The raw emotion hit fans hard. Suddenly, her all-star moment felt even bigger, fueled by pain, pride, and purpose. When All-Star Saturday finally arrived, all eyes locked on Lexi Hull. Could she handle the pressure? The lights were blinding, the crowd deafening, and social media buzzing non-stop. This wasn't just another shoot-around. This was Lexi's audition for superstardom.
This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend. It's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Breanna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here, and look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. Uh-oh, spaghetti.
As the horn sounded, she stepped to the rack with ice in her veins. One shot after another ripped through the net, pure, clean, and confident. Every swish had the Indianapolis crowd on their feet, screaming her name. For a moment, it felt like this was her city, her night, and even without Caitlin Clark, the Fever were still making noise on the biggest stage. Fans online went wild, flooding comment sections with support for Hull. Many said she looked like a hidden gem finally getting her shine. Even Caitlin, sitting courtside in street clothes, stood and applauded every rack she cleared. That show of respect? Chills. By the time the contest ended, Lexi hadn't just filled a spot. She created a moment of her own, proving she belonged with the league's elite shooters. From heartbreak to spotlight, this was her statement. She was more than ready for the big time. When the scores came in, the arena held its breath. Lexi Hull had finished second overall, just one shot shy of winning the entire contest. The crowd exploded, chanting her name like she had just hit a game winner in the finals. For a player who wasn't even supposed to be there, it was a breakthrough moment that stamped her as one of the league's deadliest shooters. Social media lit up instantly, fans calling her the silent sniper, saying she earned her flowers in one night. Even national analysts who barely mentioned her before were now tweeting clips of her form with captions like, "Textbook perfection!" Caitlin Clark, still sidelined and nursing that groin injury, had tears in her eyes as she hugged her teammate post-contest. "Lexi held it down for us tonight," she told reporters, smiling through the pain. That quote alone went viral. Two teammates bonded by respect, heartbreak, and a shared drive to win. The story had flipped. Instead of the weekend being about Clark's absence, it became about Hull's arrival. One moment of opportunity had rewritten her season and maybe even her career. The media couldn't stop talking about it. Was this the birth of a new star?
5 games with the injury, the quad, keeping Caitlin Clark on the sidelines. But Trevor, she was back today for...
Sports shows replayed Lexi Hull's flawless stroke over and over, debating whether she could become a permanent face of the Fever alongside Caitlin Clark. Fans jumped in with hot takes. Some even joked, "Caitlin's the queen, but Lexi's the sniper." Social media flooded with side-by-side highlight reels comparing their shooting styles. One viral post read, "Clark's range, Hull's precision. Fever got 2 assassins." The narrative had shifted completely. What was supposed to be a weekend about Caitlin's heartbreaking absence had turned into a showcase of the Fever's insane depth. Caitlin herself took to Instagram after the contest, posting a picture of her hugging Lexi with the caption, "Proud is an understatement. She earned that moment." That single post racked up hundreds of thousands of likes within hours. But behind the celebration, the question loomed. How long would Caitlin be out? The Fever needed their superstar back for the playoff push, and fans were desperate for updates. This injury wasn't just a personal hurdle for Clark, it had the entire franchise holding its breath. While Lexi Hull's star was rising, all eyes turned back to Caitlin Clark. How serious was her injury, and could she return before the Fever's playoff run? Team doctors stayed tight-lipped, giving only vague updates. "She's progressing well, but there's no timetable yet." That uncertainty had fans anxious and media outlets spinning wild theories. Some insiders claimed the Fever were considering shutting Clark down early to avoid risking her long-term health. Others insisted she'd push through pain just to be there when it mattered most. The debate blew up online. Rest her for the future versus play her if she can walk. Meanwhile, the Fever kept winning just enough to stay in the playoff picture, thanks to players like Hull stepping up big time. But the elephant in the room was clear. They needed their superstar. Without Caitlin at full strength, could Indiana really make a run? Clark broke her silence with a short but powerful statement. "I'm doing everything I can to be back when it matters most. Trust me, I'll be ready."
Story we have been following throughout the past 2 days surrounds the superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
That message ignited the fan base. Was this a promise of a dramatic playoff return? Lexi Hull's heartbreaking post about losing Maggie blew up instantly. Thousands of fans and fellow players rushed to send their love. But 2 messages stood out. Caitlin Clark simply replied, Caitlin Clark had to swallow the pain of missing an event she dreamed about, just days after winning one of the biggest awards of her life. Lexi Hull was grieving the loss of her beloved dog, a companion she'd had for over a decade. And through it all, Sophie Cunningham stepped up as the emotional rock of the Indiana Fever, offering support, protection, and love exactly when it was needed most. These three women showed that being a professional athlete isn't just about flashy plays or packed arenas. It's about being there for each other when life gets real. They proved that greatness is measured not only by stats but by heart, by lifting up teammates, giving comfort, and standing strong together when everything feels heavy. Their bond turned into something fans couldn't ignore. Social media exploded with messages of support, fans posting things like, "This is what a real team looks like," and "These women are role models beyond basketball." The energy shifted. This wasn't just about wins and losses anymore. It was about love, loyalty, and resilience in the face of heartbreak. For Caitlin, Lexi, and Sophie, this chapter became more than just a tough moment. It became a story of true sisterhood that fans across the country will never forget.
We shall never know peace, at least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out, and I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places, but because of where the WNBA AllStar Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA AllStar Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows.
This wasn't about who dropped the most points or who took home the trophy. It was about something way bigger: how they treated each other when life hit hard. The Indiana Fever didn't just play as a team. They moved like a family, standing shoulder to shoulder through pain and triumph alike. Caitlin Clark was determined to come back stronger after healing up. Lexi Hull was stepping into the three-point contest with both excitement and a heavy heart. And Sophie Cunningham? She was still the fire, the protector, the emotional anchor keeping everyone locked in and lifted up. Together, they weren't just teammates, they were sisters. Women who showed up for one another when it mattered most, who lifted each other up when life tried to knock them down. That unity hit fans deep. It wasn't stats or highlight reels that stole hearts. It was the love, the loyalty, and the courage they showed when it counted. In a world obsessed with wins and losses, this moment reminded everyone. Sometimes the biggest victories don't happen on the scoreboard. They happen off the court, when friendship and love beat everything else. Those moments, that's what really matters. The Indiana Fever aren't just stacked with talent, they're fueled by heart, and that heart was on full display when Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull stood by Caitlin Clark, and when all three stood by each other through pain, loss, and pressure. This isn't just basketball. This is family in motion, and fans everywhere are feeling it. The way they protect one another, celebrate each other, and refuse to let life's hits break them? That's changing the way people look at the game itself. So what do you think? Does this kind of bond give a team an edge no stat sheet can measure? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with your crew, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the real stories behind the highlights. See you in the next one! Showing pure, raw care for her teammate while Sophie Cunningham's message hit hard. "No, Lex, I'm so sorry." You could feel the pain through the screen. It was more than just condolences. It was proof of something rare in pro sports, a true sisterhood.
WNBA's All-Star Game went down 36%. That is a lot. That's more than a third from last year. Last year was over 3.4 million people, and it went down to 2.1. Now, you could say is a success. Yeah, for a women's sport, that is still a lot of people. But at the same time, it really isn't a success because think about it. It's the only sport playing. It's the only game that's going. And you only could draw that. So, and this is with all the stuff.
In a league fueled by competition and relentless pressure, the Indiana Fever had built a bond that went deeper than basketball. These women weren't just teammates, they were family. And Lexi's loss reminded everyone watching that behind the jerseys and highlight reels are real people with real emotions. The support didn't stop there. Sophie Cunningham, known as one of the WNBA's toughest defenders and fiercest competitors, showed her softer side, standing firmly by her teammates when life hit hard. She had already proven her loyalty earlier in the season when Caitlin Clark took a brutal foul. Sophie was the first one charging in, ready to stand up for her star rookie. Moments like these showed fans exactly why this Fever team felt different: talent on the court and unshakable loyalty off it. That viral moment where Sophie Cunningham stepped in to defend Caitlin Clark? It didn't just get her praise from fans, it also earned her a fine from the league. But Sophie didn't care. She showed everyone she'd go to war for her teammates, no questions asked. That fearless loyalty made fans see her differently, not just as a gritty defender, but as a true leader and protector of the Fever's young stars. Cunningham embraced the big sister role, guiding rookies like Clark and Hull on and off the court, giving them confidence and a safety net in a league where rookies usually get chewed up fast. And fans loved it so much they gave their trio a name, Tres Leches. Sweet like the dessert, but tough enough to handle anything the league threw their way. Sophie even doubled down on the fun, rocking a custom Tres Leches shirt with cartoon versions of all three players. That shirt went viral instantly. Fans wanted one, players wanted one, and suddenly, this wasn't just a nickname. It was a movement, a symbol of unity, loyalty, and sisterhood.
It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened.
Whether it was celebrating big wins, fighting through losses, or standing shoulder to shoulder in life's toughest moments, this bond was unshakable. Tres Leches wasn't just about basketball, it was about family.